The sun, a radiant eye in the heavens, rose over Tenochtitlan. Its golden rays kissed the city's temples. They glinted off the canals, turning the water into liquid light. Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire, pulsed with life. Canoes laden with goods and adorned with vibrant colors glided through the canals. Merchants hawked their wares, their voices echoing through the bustling marketplace. The air was thick with the scent of spices, flowers, and burning copal. It was a city of grandeur, a testament to the might and artistry of the Aztec people. High above the city, in the house of the serpent, a young scribe named Itzel ground maize for the morning meal. Her dark eyes, reflecting the wisdom of generations past, held a hint of worry. Itzel was no ordinary scribe. She was a keeper of stories, a guardian of the myths and legends passed down through generations. Her grandmother, a revered priestess, had instilled in her a deep respect for the old ways, for the spirits that resided in every rock, tree, and ripple of water. As she worked, Itzel's gaze drifted towards a weathered scroll, tucked away safely in a niche within the wall. This was no ordinary scroll. It was a relic from a bygone era passed down through her family for generations. The Prophecy of Tenochtitlan, it was called. Its cryptic verses spoke of a time of great upheaval, of feathered serpents descending from the east, and of an empire facing its ultimate test. Itzel had always been drawn to the stories of her people. As a child, she would spend hours listening to her grandmother weave tales of gods and monsters, of valiant warriors and wise rulers. The history of the Aztecs, she learned, was a tapestry woven from both triumph and tragedy. Their ancestors, guided by the god Huitzilopochtli, had journeyed from the mythical land of Aztlan, seeking a new home. They finally settled on a marshy island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, fulfilling the prophecy of an eagle perched on a cactus devouring a serpent. This unlikely location, through sheer ingenuity and hard work, was transformed into the magnificent city of Tenochtitlan, the heart of a powerful empire. The Aztecs, renowned for their military prowess and their complex society, ruled over much of Mesoamerica. They built grand pyramids, developed sophisticated systems of agriculture and trade, and cultivated a rich culture steeped in ritual and tradition. Itzel, chosen by her grandmother to inherit the mantle of storyteller, felt the weight of her ancestors' legacy on her shoulders. She was trained not just to recite the stories, but to understand their deeper meaning, to decipher the lessons hidden within the metaphors and allegories. The stories, she realized, were more than just entertainment. They were a guide, a roadmap for navigating the complexities of life, a way to connect with the divine forces that shaped their world. Yet there was one story that filled her with unease, a story that whispered of potential doom rather than glory. The Prophecy of Tenochtitlan. Itzel had always been taught to revere the prophecies, to see them as warnings and guidance from the gods. But this particular prophecy, with its cryptic verses and ominous tone, had always sent shivers down her spine. It spoke of a time when the balance of the cosmos would be disrupted, when the very foundations of their world would be shaken. The scroll, its surface as smooth as polished bone, felt cool to the touch. Itzel traced the glyphs, their intricate forms as familiar to her as her own reflection. The prophecy, passed down through generations of her family, spoke of a time of great upheaval, a time when the very stars themselves would tremble in fear. It spoke of strangers, pale as moonlight, arriving from the east, bearing weapons that spat fire and thunder. These strangers, the prophecy warned, would bring with them a thirst for gold and a hunger for conquest. Itzel's heart pounded in her chest as she reread the prophecy's central passage. When the feathered serpent returns not from the heavens but from the realm of the rising sun, beware. For his arrival heralds a time of great change, a time of both triumph and tribulation. The fate of the empire hangs in the balance, and the very gods themselves hold their breath. Her grandmother's words echoed in her mind. The prophecy is not set in stone, Itzel. It is a warning, a guide. The future is fluid, ever-changing. The choices we make, the actions we take, can alter the course of destiny. But what choice did they have when faced with a force as unstoppable as the rising sun? Despite her grandmother's reassurances, a knot of dread tightened in Itzel's stomach. The prophecy had always felt like a distant threat, a story whispered around flickering firelight. But now, With each passing day, it seemed to draw closer, its shadow looming larger over their once secure world. News had reached Tenochtitlan of strange occurrences in the east. Travelers spoke of pale men, their bodies concealed in metal, arriving on massive floating mountains. They brought with them strange creatures, beasts of burden unlike any seen before. Fear and uncertainty gripped the city. Whispers of the prophecy spread like wildfire, carried on the wind through the bustling marketplaces and along the canals. Even the priests, usually the keepers of calm and wisdom, seemed troubled. The very air, once vibrant with the energy of life, now crackled with apprehension.
Section 4. The Shadow of Doubt. Moctezuma Xocoyotzin, the ninth Tlatoani of the Aztec Empire, was a man of great power and wisdom. He was a renowned warrior, a shrewd diplomat, and a patron of the arts. Under his rule, the Aztec Empire had reached the pinnacle of its power. Yet even Moctezuma, the ruler of a vast and mighty empire, was not immune to doubt. The omens, whispered in hushed tones and veiled in secrecy, troubled him greatly. He had always been a devout believer in the gods, meticulous in his observance of the rituals and sacrifices that ensured the balance of the cosmos. But the recent events, coupled with the unsettling prophecies, had sown seeds of doubt in his heart. He spent hours in the temple, consulting with his priests, seeking guidance from the gods. He pored over ancient codices, searching for answers in the wisdom of his ancestors. His advisors, sensing his unease, offered conflicting counsel. Some urged him to prepare for war, to gather their armies and fortify their defenses. Others, citing the sacred calendar and the cyclical nature of time, argued that the arrival of the strangers was merely a part of a grand cosmic cycle, a test ordained by the gods. Moctezuma, torn between caution and curiosity, hesitated. He sent emissaries to the east, bearing gifts and seeking information about these enigmatic newcomers. He ordered the priests to increase their sacrifices, hoping to appease the gods and avert any potential disaster. But deep down, a gnawing fear twisted in his gut. The prophecy, once a distant whisper, now echoed loudly in his ears. Section 5. Visions in the Obsidian Mirror. Moctezuma, desperate for answers, turned to the most powerful tool at his disposal, the Obsidian Mirror, a gift from Tezcatlipoca, the god of night, sorcery, and destiny. The mirror, polished to a flawless sheen, was said to reveal hidden truths, to pierce the veil of time and space. It was a dangerous tool, for it showed not only what was, but also what could be, its visions open to interpretation and prone to manipulation.